Today's question comes from Al in Virginia. He asks, what is your recommended percentage of income going into retirement if you're debt-free and you own your home? Is it still 15%? Currently, I'm right at 30%, and I'm 51 years old with north of $1 million in assets, 50% of which is in a 401k. Is it possible to invest too much? I love this question, and I love where Al is at financially. So if you're tracking with the baby steps, Al is at baby step 7, the final baby step, because he has a paid-for home, no debt, he's got money in the bank. And so at baby step 7, you can invest more than 15% to your heart's desire. It's build wealth and give. And there's no parameters around that, and it's for a good reason. It looks different for everyone. So is it possible to invest too much? I think it's a great question because on one hand, on the financial side, no. You could have $5 million, you could have $10 million from retirement, you could have $20 million. It only gives you more options, a bigger legacy, and more responsibility to manage, but it's a great problem to have.
Yeah, it really is. And again, it just speaks to people who are new to this process. When you get a question like this and you hear this, like, this is possible. You can do this. There's a reason why there's 7 baby steps. And I love that it's a way for many of you who feel like this is so very far off to realize it's attainable.
Well, and at 51 with $1 million in assets, while that's an incredible milestone, it's probably not enough to retire off of for the next 40 years if you want to have a really great retirement. So,
well, let's also point out that he's 51 and then, average length of life. I mean, he's still got a long way to go in a good way. He's going to keep racking it up.
40, 50 years, you go, how much do I need to live? And so a good rule of thumb is to go, how much do I want to live off in retirement in yearly income? Multiply that by 25. And that gives you a really good number. And here's why. There's something called the Trinity study out there, Ken, that said if you peel off 4% of your nest egg every year, your initial balance should remain where it is.
Nice.
So if you have $1 million, you can peel off 4% without really ever touching that $1 million.
That's a great exercise. Yeah.
And so as far as investing too much, I would always caution you to invest more than you think you'll need because taxes are going to continue to go up. Inflation's going to continue to go up. You don't know what's going to happen in the future, where you're going to want to live. And so I always want more options versus less. Yeah. Now, here's why I will say you're investing too much. If you are miserable in your everyday life, but you are at least a great saver, but your wife wants to go on vacation and you won't take her, even though you don't have any debt and you've got $1 million. That's where I would say, let's dial it back so we can actually enjoy the next few years of our life while we're still young and able. Let's travel. Let's do those things. So if you're allocating to spending and to giving, then the rest can go to saving, and you can do that with intentionality and no regret.
Yeah, I love that plan. And again, very simple. That 4% rule is a great rule for people to get an idea of what I want to get to so I can live the life that I think I want to.
Absolutely. And if you were going, well, that feels impossible because I'm 51, I have nothing saved, there is still hope for you. We might need to reset the expectations of what we thought retirement would be. We might need to look at a different place to live, to downsize our house, to downsize our life. But you can still retire with dignity if you follow this Ramsey plan. If you get out of debt and have a pile of money in the bank and you're investing towards the future, you can still have a great retirement.
Here's a thought. Just a thought, George. We should probably talk about this sometime on the show. We are seeing baby boomers retire at record rates. So we're kind of in the middle of this, and it's going to be interesting to see over the next 5 to 10 years, or let's call it 15 years, what does the data show us about these large amounts of baby boomers retiring? Because retiring, if it is the notion that it is, I'm not going to ever work again, and I'm just going to sit around the house and watch TV, take a good afternoon nap, that's resigning. That I'm old and I'm dying. I think retiring needs to have a component of certainly hobbies and things that you enjoy where you are active mentally and physically. But I also think it needs to have a level of contribution. And while it may not be working the same amount of hours, when I look at retirement age, it has no picture at all with me not working. Am I working less? Am I working at a slower pace? Sure. Am I playing more and traveling more? Absolutely. But contributing through some type of work, it's got to be the case. And I just think aging studies, if you want to go look at these things, do your own homework, it shows that staying active is not just go to your swim class at the YMCA and play golf with the guys on Saturday morning. So I just think it's really interesting for those of you that are like, I'm 51 and I'm just starting. You know what? It's possible for you to enter into retirement age, have money, work some, and still have a great lifestyle. It's not all on, I got to just live off the 401k. That may be controversial to some, but I just think we're going to see that shifts with younger generations.
Absolutely. And there's only so much on Netflix before you get bored.
Oh,
you need to have a little bit of purpose in life. It's true. So great reminders there, Ken.